Hey, greetings everyone. Welcome back or welcome if this is your first time tuning in. The new and old, I am happy to be here with you. We have a lot to discuss today as we look at um, Dadgar, not Khadgar, but Dadgar as he kind of sachets his hips. Um, So there's been a shakeup. We can't get into this episode or move forward without me talking about some serious come to Jesus moment I had to have yesterday. So I was going down the YouTube rabbit hole where I click one thing, I click another. I was looking at like reviews for video games, Baldur's Gate 3 and stuff like that. And then I start watching Warcraft videos, and you know how it goes. And the next thing, I mean, that might even be how you got here. Um, the next thing, I find myself watching a video, and in this video, I come to the realization that the Wrath of the Lich King servers are going away. So at Wrath Classic servers, all inclinations are that they're gone. So this whole time I've been making these spreadsheets. I've been playing Classic after the first couple months with the mindset of I'm going to have to do these all again when I get to Wrath Classic. I was already sad and shed a tear that we could never play Burning Crusade Classic in its true incarnation. And I was already thinking, how are we going to, I've had to come up with, well, we're going to have to scour the internet and come up with at least ways to either watch clips together or read the quest text for these quests that are removed. But I was going to get with it. I was going to get there because you know what? With Wrath Classic, we could play through all the classic zones again, unchanged. I could do it the way that I would want to do it instead of the half-baked plan that we're locked into now with our other 9 characters. And we could still play through all the Burning Crusade because while our power level may have increased a little bit with Wrath Classic, we would never reach a level that would be just totally insurmountable. Like even if we hit the level cap of 80, so we still wouldn't be able to solo clear endgame Burning Crusade content. Even though there were some things, introduction of achievements and talents and stuff like that, there were little things that I was going to be willing to bow to before we moved on. And then when I heard Cataclysm, I was like, well, we'll just do that too. But now that I realize that everything is switching over to Cataclysm, that defeats, in my mind, that's a huge sweeping blow. Because why? Why am I going to put us through everything to do this over and over again, other than from just a let's experience it standpoint? Because you're kneecapping the entire lore. Once Kata changes the world, everything is changed. The entire starting zones are gone. I don't dislike Cataclysm, but once that happens, there's no... For me, why are we going through the trouble when we could do it all in one forever living server in retail? It also puts this ticking clock. If let's say Kata comes out and Wrath changes it summer, there's absolutely no way. We're not even going to be done with Classic by then. So by the time we even finish Classic, most likely they'll be on Mists of Pandaria Classic or whatever. At what point, how far are they going to take this? Which I think is a little absurd. Wrath was a good thing. They had a good thing going, and they've killed it. So that sent me spiraling, and it gave me it made me have to make a decision. I know this is a lot of talking. I don't always start every episode talking like this, but I feel like with the momentous decision that is made, we have to justify it. So what do? Do we just stick with Classic and see where the chips fall? Do I stick with Classic and then I go through every single server? We do a Burning Crusade Classic, we do a Wrath Classic, but we do it on private servers, which is morally gray. And if you thought the loot farmers and GDKP and gold selling was bad in Classic, I would imagine it's the Wild West in private servers. Um, so, do I do that? Do we just say screw everything and go? I mean, we need to finish the classic quest. That's part of the lore. Do I race over to Wrath of the Lich King and just start that now and get as far as I can? And, well, no, because I don't think we'd still even be done by the time they kicked us over to Cataclysm. So my other thought was, you know what? What if we... I don't want my plan to go to waste, because I do have an approach for Classic, and I want the ability to do the same thing for all of the other things. So what would we be losing? Well, all of the Burning Crusade quests exist in retail. Very few have been taken out or changed. There are some tweaks in terms of difficulty, but from a lore perspective, which at the core is the mission of this channel, even in retail, you can experience all of the expansions. It's really just the classic world that changed. So I made a fateful decision last night to freeze my other... They're not gone, but to freeze my progress on the classic characters that we've been making. To reboot with a better, more streamlined and slightly different set of what we're going to offer and on this channel. And unless things vastly change and Warcraft Blizzard listens to the fans and opens up servers of their own for every single thing, in which case we'll pivot and we'll still do that. Like if they give us a dedicated Burning Crusade server and a dedicated Wrath server and a dedicated Cata server, but I don't have faith that they're going to do that. So this is what we'll do. We're going to replay Classic from the beginning. We're going to stick to 2 characters. One Horde, one Alliance, which is what I already have going on in a little side project here. I have spreadsheets that I'm now going to share. I'll put the tag in every comment section. But this is a living, ongoing spreadsheet that has the quests in order. It has all the different class quests in order. It has, and we will build out profession quests, because now, before I was not really caring about them that much. I was just taking them as they come. But I'm now going to bring them through post-haste. We're going to build a new quest list, because these are quests in order of difficulty, by level, in order of difficulty. Not difficulty, but like required level. We're going to change it to be more organic, because very few people, even I, have a hard time. Sometimes it's painful to play in this OCD manner where like I do every level 1 quest, regardless if it bops me back and forth around the zone. So instead, we're going to use this as our framework. Check off as we go. I'm going to share a link so that anybody could access this, and if you access it, you just make your own copy. And then we're going to create, living together, what would be the actual organic way to play through these quests. I'm going to make 2 new characters. We're going to start the character generation process right now together. They're going to be themed for the show. I'm going to place them on Pagel. They're going to be under my dad and mom. They had some babies, but dad and mom are still the characters who are at the core of it all. And I've created guilds. So when I get into the game a little bit, I will invite these characters to the guild. We're going to do 99.9% of everything together, so you'll experience the whole journey instead of all this off-camera work. The only thing that I could imagine not doing on camera is looking for group, because sometimes that takes for hours when you're just going to be watching me play on my phone while I spam macro in chat. And if we have to camp a rare drop, which is really, there's nothing to watch. Sometimes I'm just logging in and logging out, logging in. Although I might try my best. I'm going to try my best to not have that happen. But if I'm farming for a drop, that's totally different. We'll do that together. I'm going to try and put in a solid episode of an hour every day, regardless what's happening. And I'm going to produce and put out a reading episode every day. So hopefully that will catch us up on our content instead of doing one every other day. And things will move faster with these characters compared to what we've been doing, because this is how I actually prefer to play the game. I'm going to open up the guild to anybody that wants. I'll do a guild for Horde and a guild for Alliance. So anybody that wants to be part of the experience and join in is more than welcome. I'll promote that in the next couple episodes. I'll just put it out there, and you guys can just send me a mail or send me a message, or maybe I'll do a streaming window or something like that. Like, I'll set a dedicated time up. So if anybody wants to be part of some of the episodes, I'll put that out of there. You're more than welcome to group up, and especially for group content, or if you need help or anything, you just want to be part of the Lore of Warcraft experience. And eventually, when we get to retail, when achievements open up, we'll do all the achievements, as many as we can do together online also. So if you want to be part of achievement hunting and going for every achievement in the game, we'll make some things happen for that. So my apologies that we're going to retread old material. Hopefully you can forgive me, and that we've wasted a quarter of this episode talking, but I feel like explanation needed to be made. So we're going to make our first character today. Now, if you look at my spreadsheet, the easiest level that I have determined by my complicated math, no, it's just random. It's not really random. There is logic behind it, is Elwyn Forest, which means we do have to start as a human. Now, if you don't want to start in your own walkthrough experience as a human, feel free to jostle the zones around. There's not really a lot of importance about which one you do first in the Alliance, because it's really maybe a pinch, a level difference between Elwyn and, say, I don't know, Teldrassil. You could also follow the path that we're going to follow together by creating your own character and just having somebody move you over to this realm. You'll miss maybe a couple of the human-specific quests, but it's all good. I will also mention when the quests are like race or class or whatever specific. Now, because we're only going to create 2 classes, what I will do is we'll use the spreadsheet here at the appropriate level marks to discuss and investigate the other quests for each of the different classes. That way we'll avoid having to make 9 characters. There's really not a lot. Had I known that there was only about a dozen or so quests, mostly comprised of 2 or 3 quest chains for an alliance, I wouldn't have, or for each class, I wouldn't have made 9 characters in the first place. All right, so mommy and daddy are going to have their first baby. We're going to make it together. You're going to be part of this entire experience with me together. So I actually, I'm like tempted to make this a whole new episode, but because, actually, you know what? As a matter of fact, let's do that. I'm gonna kill the camera right now. I'm gonna post this as like an intro episode to our project here, and that way anybody that doesn't want to hear me talk for 15 minutes can just skip all of this. Anybody that's into it just for the walkthrough. So I will go ahead and stop the record now, and then I'll immediately start right back on the next one.